Hi, I'm Pascal Birchler. I am from Switzerland and I work as a software engineer for Google. My background is mostly in the WordPress community. I've been a long time WordPress core committer, and I'm also one of the maintainers of WP-CLI, which is the command line interface for WordPress.
And can you briefly share a description of your project?
Yeah, so my project is called WP-CLI as an MCP host. MCP stands for Model Context Protocol, and it's basically a standardized way for projects to provide context to LLMs.
What problem does your project aim to solve?
So LLMs like ChatGPT or Gemini, whatever, like all these chatbots, they get smarter and smarter every day. One tricky bit there is to provide the necessary context for those chatbots or LLMs to actually give you like meaningful replies with like actual data from some other systems. So in case of WordPress, we want to context data from WordPress to those LLMs, and MCP is like a proposed standard for that, and we want to implement this in WordPress and WP-CLI context.
So for the average user, they would be able to use something like ChatGPT or another LLM and ask questions about their specific WordPress site and get a response. Is that correct?
Yes, that's pretty much it. Our focus for the hackathon is to first, so it's twofold. One part is to have like a server layer that provides the context from WordPress to whatever system is requesting it. And the second part is we actually try to build such a client using WP-CLI. So the main interaction for that project, at least initially, will be through the command line. So you can type something like, I don't know, create some random images and then create some blog posts using those images.
And what are the goals and scope of your project?
So starts with those two parts. One is the server aspect, providing the context and resources for the command line interface. And then of course build that command line interface so you can interact with the site. And ideally, we build it in such a way that it can not only be used by WP-CLI, but also other tools like, let's say, ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, like directly without command line, maybe like over the internet, of course, because those are websites. So it has there's definitely a lot of potential for it in the long term as well.
What attendee skill set would be most applicable to your project?
On one hand, if you're experienced with WP-CLI or WordPress development, that's certainly helpful because we need to tinker with all the standard resources that are available in WordPress and interact with the command line. So that's an advantage. Also, like any peer around LLM interactions, like developing something, interacting with an LLM, that's helpful. But in the end, even nowadays, you can code stuff using AI. You don't need to be an expert in those areas because the AI can help us get there very quickly.
And how do you envision the impact on the open web and society in general?
So once we have the MCP server layer built in WordPress, that unlocks like a huge, like it's a giant door that we open with this, because it eventually will allow anyone to use LLMs with WordPress context in like a standardized way. And you can be so much more productive with your WordPress sites and using all those AI helpers. So yeah, big picture here, it's pretty cool.
Can you think of any real world examples for how maybe a news publication or just someone with a personal blog might use this to be more productive?
Of course, yeah. Basically, at least for off the top of my head, you don't need to actually open WordPress to be able to create some new articles. You can just chat to or like talk to your AI assistant, and they're able to summarize our conversation here right now and create a new blog post with that in the correct layout and all the correct categorization. Then you can, do the fine tuning later in WordPress. Also, it can really speed up a lot of processes.
You've really piqued my interest with this project. I'm not a developer, not the most technical person, so love using AI to make things simpler. And I will admit, I've never thought about using AI to interface with my WordPress site. So I'm really excited to see how this project goes. And finally, my favorite question: which award, except for the overall winner, would you like to win with your team on site?
Wow, great question. So I know in the past, I always wanted to have like the social media award, but usually I was like, or like we all were like too busy actually working on a project. I think I would go for the Dream Team Award. Because as a team, like if we all work together, we can achieve something great. And in the end, it's all about having fun as a team and create something nice. So yeah, I would go for the Dream Team Award.
Well, Pascal, thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you at the hackathon.
Amazing. Thanks. See you at the hackathon.